In the world of fights, confidence is essential. However, when confidence crosses the line, it turns into arrogance. Some fighters like to provoke, dance, sneer, and belittle their opponents, believing they have already won before the first punch is thrown. From daring taunts to brutal knockouts, we can learn the stories of arrogant fighters who paid the price with their own defeat. That is exactly what we are going to see here today. During the so-called face-off or stare-down between Badr Hari and Arkadiusz Verzosek before the main event of Glory 78, the situation got tense and almost turned into a brawl. During the official weigh-in for Glory 78, the visual confrontation between the two went over the line. Badr Hari shoved Verzosek on stage, and security had to step in to prevent a direct physical clash. The fight resulted in one of the most incredible comebacks ever seen in kickboxing. Hari even dropped Verzosek 3 times, but at the start of the second round, the Pole came in with devastating determination and knocked Hari out in shocking fashion, getting his revenge for the shove he took.
Of 1 minute 30 seconds, and it ends by knockout for your winner, Arkadiusz Verzosek.
The whole context, from the taunts and shoves to the fight, went viral on the internet, with many celebrating Verzosek's victory as a form of payback against his opponent, who did everything he could to destabilize him before the bout. A very tense moment took place at the press conference between fighters Shane Mosley and Ricardo Mayorga, and the situation started to escalate. The scene was one of the most emblematic moments promoting their rematch in 2015. During a press conference in Las Vegas, Mosley was accompanied by his wife, who bent down and was stared at by Mayorga, which left Mosley completely furious. In addition, later on, Mayorga reportedly lit a cigarette and blew the smoke directly into Mosley's face. In an immediate reaction, Mosley slapped the cigarette out of Mayorga's mouth. The tension mounted even more, leading security to intervene to prevent a bigger fight. Some observers and fans suggested the incident looked staged, rehearsed to create controversy and promote the bout, but nothing is confirmed about that.
There you go.
Whoa. What's going on here?
This theatrical approach, typical of Mayorga, aligned with his provocative style, wrapped in smoke, drinks, harsh words, and verbal taunts. He often sought to shock in order to draw attention. During the fight between Andrei Mikhailovich and Alex Hanan, held in June of 2021, we can follow the tension that culminated in a memorable knockout. The rivalry was clear from the press conference and the weigh-in. Hanan made a finger gun gesture and even landed a punch to Mikhailovich's stomach when the referee ordered them to touch gloves, a clear show of disrespect that gave him an arrogant reputation. However, Mikhailovich did not take long to answer in the ring. In the second round, he dropped Hanan twice with straight shots and powerful hooks, finishing the clash with a beautiful knockout.
And here they come, and there's the stoppage. And it's a victory for the Russian Kiwi, Andrei Mikhailovich, on the big stage here in Australia.
After the victory, Mikhailovich flipped the mood, went to his opponent, hugged him, and was kind, proving he was completely the opposite, and of course, the moment resonated. The showdown between Albert Prince Pagara and Potomsith was another one that drew media attention. In the fight held on July 8, 2017, Prince Albert Pagara knocked out his Thai opponent with a powerful shot, sending Kaumeni straight to the canvas after the latter had provoked his opponent a lot with taunts, mockery, and even a dance he did in the ring, which ended up backfiring. The fighter was taken out on a stretcher for medical care, but he did not suffer fractures. The knockout happened midway through the 4th round and caught the public's attention, which went wild. A tense moment at a fight weigh-in shows fighter Ryan Jett delivering an unexpected slap to Cub Hawkins' face right on stage. During the official weigh-in for the light heavyweight title, the tension between the two fighters reached its peak. Ryan Jett surprised everyone and slapped Cub Hawkins in the face, so the host had to step in to separate them immediately. Despite Jett's provocative act, the final outcome did not go as he expected, and Cub Hawkins won the fight, capturing the title at that event.
And the new BYB Light Heavyweight Champion of the World, Cub the Savage Hawkins.
The fight started very competitive, but Hawkins quickly stood out with accurate strikes that hurt his opponent, and he ended the bout with his opponent's face badly battered. Some striking moments happened in the stare-down between Oleksandr Usyk and Tony Bellew during the weigh-in before the big fight at Manchester Arena. Tony Bellew showed up with a bandana, traded fierce looks, and soon chanted phrases like "there's a lunatic in the mirror," trying to intimidate the champion. Usyk shot back by using a Manchester City scarf to cover his face in a mocking tone, while Bellew stayed serious and tense. In the ring, Bellew, in the early rounds, was active, landed precise counters, and showed good movement, getting the better of some of them. When he felt very comfortable in the fight, he started to taunt and dance, which certainly was not a good choice. From the middle of the fight on, Usyk began to loosen up. With a devastating combination, he capitalized on his opponent's showboating. In the 8th round, he poured it on and the referee ended the clash with a knockout.
Usyk defends all 4 Cruiserweight World titles. In sensational instant fashion, we saw him breaking down Bellew. We thought that...
After the fight, the Brit acknowledged with respect the greatness of his opponent and announced his retirement from the ring. An emblematic showdown between Mike Tyson and Peter "Hurricane" McNeely in his much-anticipated return to the ring in 1995 triggered one of the most intense stare-downs in boxing history. Peter McNeely took full advantage of the spotlight during the promotion phase. He appeared on several television shows and interviews, adopting a provocative and confident posture, stating respect for Iron Mike, but assuring he was there to truly fight. A remarkable moment at the presser was when McNeely read a provocative poem, saying that in the fight he would smash Tyson. The bout took place on August 19, 1995 in Las Vegas. As part of Tyson's return after serving time in prison, McNeely, a little-known opponent, immediately launched into the attack. Less than 10 seconds after the opening bell, Tyson dropped McNeely with a straight shot which even seemed not so impactful, but was enough to put him down.
At the past few months, and here we go! And McNeely, as advertised, comes right at Mike Tyson. Down goes McNeely! Seconds into the first round!
In the footage, we see that after getting up, McNeely tried to respond, but soon took another devastating blow that dropped him again. The most curious thing is that after the second knockdown, McNeely's trainer entered the ring to stop the bout and protect the fighter, triggering an automatic disqualification. In 2017, during a kickboxing event called Glory 42, which took place in Paris, France, things ended up being marked by a very unusual situation. It was the lightweight tournament final between the Surinamese-born, naturalized Dutch fighter Mirthel Groenhart and the Armenian Harut Grigorian. In the second round, Groenhart connected with a flying knee and inexplicably, Grigorian turned his back to his opponent. The Dutchman then saw the opportunity and seized the moment to deliver a hard right hook from behind, right on the chin. The Armenian fell out cold in the ring and did not even react. Groenhart began to celebrate, but was attacked by 2 unidentified spectators who invaded the ring and threw punches, outraged at the supposed cowardice of the fighter for knocking out his opponent from behind. Members of his team and arena security intervened next and removed the intruders from the venue. Despite the whole situation, the strike was not considered illegal, since the referee had not interrupted the fight. Apparently, the Armenian fighter had asked the referee for a low blow by his opponent, and when that happens, the fight is stopped. That is why he turned his back, but when he made the request, the referee ended up not stopping it. He did not realize that and ended up getting knocked out. The fight between Kyohei Hagiwara and Ren Hiramoto, which took place on December 31, 2020, also drew attention because of the provocative fighter who got the worst of it. Ren Hiramoto, a former champion and kickboxing star, was making his MMA debut and came in with a strong attitude, even flashing the middle finger as a provocation before the clash, something unusual and striking on the Japanese MMA scene. However, Hagiwara ignored it and focused on the fight. When the bout began, Hagiwara quickly took it to the ground, dominated all the actions, and emerged the winner. In the community, Hiramoto's middle finger provocation drew attention, but Hagiwara's dominance on the ground flipped the script completely, and many said they celebrated the defeat of the fighter, who proved arrogant. A fully tattooed and, let us say, very confident fighter flaunted taunts and self-confidence before the fight, but he saw that things would not be as easy as he thought. In several clips before the fight, he appeared provoking, taking off his shirt, showing his physique, and trying to intimidate his opponent with those taunts. However, the opponent very calmly kept ignoring it and stayed focused on the fight, and precisely because of that, the result was him beating the arrogant opponent in front of everyone. The fight begins, and the fighter quickly shows total focus and, of course, a lot of skill. The tattooed one still tries to provoke a few more times and ends the fight being knocked out. During a fight at the so-called lingerie fighting championships, the fighters staged a very unusual moment. In the footage, we see her being held back by what appears to be security, but she does not accept it, pushes him off the ring, and he tumbles down. Outraged, the opposing fighter stands up for the man, charges at the aggressive opponent, and knocks her out right there. The crowd goes wild with the scene. The competition resembles WWE, with lots of entertainment, something Americans love, and therefore, it is very successful over there. The duel between Augie Sanchez, also known as Kid Vegas, and Jorge Paez was another remarkable fight, where Paez, showing himself very bold and provocative, got the worst of it. The clash took place on May 8, 1999, and at the time, Sanchez had an undefeated record and was the favorite. Even knowing his opponent's favoritism, Paez could not help himself. He taunted, mocked, and made a point of drawing attention even at the time of the fight, with his different and colorful outfit and very bold hair. Well, despite the taunts, the favoritism held, and Sanchez came out the winner with a big knockout. It was very clear that everything Paez tried was to destabilize his opponent, with his taunts before the fight and also during the fight, but it did not help much, and Sanchez, keeping his focus, won the fight. Now it was the Brazilian Leandro Silva's turn to deliver immense entertainment with taunts that ended up backfiring on him. The fight between Leandro Silva and his opponent, Marek Mazuch, took place at the Octagon Underground event on May 21, 2022, in the Czech Republic. It was a professional boxing match in which Leandro was very confident and even decided to enter the ring with a monkey mask, all as a provocation and an attempt to destabilize his opponent, who stayed firm and beat the Brazilian. The result was Mazuch's victory by knockout in the second round, reinforcing the forceful outcome of the bout in which Silva was a kind of showman, but could not back it up in the ring. The epic duel between Michael Venom Page and Douglas Lima, which took place in May of 2019, showed us the dramatic moment Page faced during the fight after provoking his opponent. The provocation by Michael Page, famous for his circus-like style with dances and taunts, was evident before and during the clash, but it ended up backfiring on him. In the fight, Lima landed a kick that threw Page off balance, and, while the Brit tried to get his footing back, he was hit by a devastating shot that literally knocked him out in overwhelming fashion. The result was a technical knockout in the second round, sealing the first loss of Michael Page's career in MMA.
On the Bellator welterweight World Grand Prix, Douglas Lima.
The MMA community on social networks reacted strongly, with many supporting Douglas Lima for his focus and for not falling for Page's provocation. Another striking moment happened in the clash between Jesus Rojas and Claudio Marrero, when Rojas connected with the decisive shot that resulted in his opponent's knockout. The bout took place on September 16, 2017, at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, during a Golden Boy boxing event presented by ESPN. The fight was for the interim featherweight title. Marrero had talked himself up, taunted, and said a lot about the fight, and after an intense battle, Jesus Rojas dropped Claudio Marrero with a powerful left hook at the end of the 7th round, knocking out his opponent and crowning himself champion.
Featherweight champion of the world from Caguas, Puerto Rico, Jesus Rojas!
The fight was exciting from the start, with Marrero in a provocative way going forward, but Rojas staying firm until he finally got the knockout. Don't forget to subscribe so you can watch more videos like this.